obviously at the moment it feels like everyone is thinking about cleanliness and cleaning, making sure that everything's disinfected. Are you doing anything different at the moment?
Not really much different from what I normally do, because I'm always like this anyway. But I think things like with the shopping, people are obviously disinfecting their shopping as it comes in. You know, if they put a bag down, they're disinfecting that surface straight away. I am being more mindful of that at the moment. Whereas I'd lost a lot of my really strong OCD ways over the years. I've built myself up not to be so bad. I do feel like I've started slipping back into that sort of trap of having quite bad OCD again. But it's not a bad thing at the end of the day. We don't know if this virus is surviving on our cans of tomatoes, on, you know, so it's good just to be practical. We don't want it in our houses, do we?
No.
So I think rinsing with some warm soapy water isn't a bad thing. It's just time consuming, but we've got time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. It can be a bit confusing as well, can't it? I've been doing a bit of research, and you know, the World Health Organization says it can persist on surfaces for a few hours, several days even. The general thought is that, you know, and research shows 24 hours on cardboard, up to 3 days on things like plastic and stainless steel.
yeah.
So just tell me a bit about what you think we should be doing. Let's start then with you've been out, maybe
Yeah.
for your daily walk. What would you be doing when you walk in the door?
So I'd make sure you've got a designated area in the house when you do come in, and have a closed off area. So think about your shoes. If you haven't got doormats that are washable, maybe pop down some old sheets of newspaper and pop your shoes on that as soon as you come in. Don't get into the habit, you know, if you're about to go shopping, you think, oh, I've forgotten my purse, and you run upstairs with your shoes on. All that has to stop now. Those shoes are for outside only. So let's just keep that in mind. Same with your coats. Hang your coat up straight away. Any handbags that you could have taken out with you, the same, and just keep them in one area. With your coats, wash them more, you know, more than you usually are. You maybe wash your coat perhaps once a month. I'd perhaps get in the habit of trying to get, like, this is me, remember? But maybe try and get in the habit of washing it maybe twice a month. And if you don't want to wash them because the weather's not great and you can't dry them outside, use a garment steamer. They are proving to be really, really good at the moment. They're not that expensive. You know, steam obviously kills germs. You know, they're saying that they will kill viruses as well. So I think to have one of those handy is quite good. I mean, I've got followers of mine on Instagram steaming their shoes. I haven't gone that far. But I don't think there's any harm in quickly wiping the soles if you're worried, if you're concerned. But I think the newspaper trap or a doormat that's washable is potentially enough. And I am sort of saying to women as well, if they've got quite long hair and they're venturing into the supermarket, tie the hair back when they're in the supermarket, because if someone behind you is potentially coughing or sneezing, we don't know what it does if it hits your hair. But just think, if it's tied back, it's not all around your face, so it's not going to get into your eyes and into your mouth. So I think it's just thinking slightly outside the box a bit more at the moment.
And then, so if you have been out shopping and you bring your shopping down, you know, pop it on the surface. You know, I would normally pop it on my work surfaces here in the kitchen, and then I'd empty it out and then pop it straight in the fridge. Anything different we should be doing?
I think so. When you're taking it out, I normally just have a bowl of warm soapy water on the side, and things that are wipeable, really quick wipe, dry with a clean cloth. And if you buy like a multi-packet of crisps, for example, you've got 12 packets in a big one, remove that outer packaging straight away. And then the smaller packets can just go straight in the cupboard. You've not got to worry about those, because those probably haven't had human contact for a while. So the chances of a virus being on internal packaging is very, very slim. So just get the outer packaging out as soon as you possibly can, and where you can, a quick wipe, quick dry, get the kids involved, make it an activity, you know, make it a bit of fun, but knowing there is a serious element to it as well. I mean, and this isn't going to last forever. Once we've sort of got a grip to this, we can go back to the ways we perhaps were, but some people may choose not to. They may get into the habit, they may be much more, you know, aware of germs. You know, people have been washing shopping for years. I mean, you know, I did when I was bad, but I stopped, and now I've started again. But it's not a bad thing.
Tell me about your OCD then.
So yeah, this goes back to quite a long time. I had sort of a bad relationship when I was young, and it spurred on sort of the need to clean. So rather than dealing it with counsellors and therapies and stuff, my dealing with it was to obsessively clean. So it was out of control, if I'm completely honest with you. And over the years, I mean, we're talking sort of 14, 15 years ago now, I've built myself up to sort of make cleaning a positive thing, and turn it around and then help and, you know, sort of motivate other people with it. So I do feel a little bit like I'm in a trap at the moment, that my OCD is slowly coming back, but then people's anxiety, people's mental health is quite high at the moment. Everybody, I think, is feeling it, everybody and everyone. You know, we're washing our hands probably a lot more than we used to. That's not a bad thing, you know, as long as we can get soap. You know, the more our kids wash our hands, the better. I mean, I noticed with my younger child at school, just before he came into lockdown, they weren't encouraging hand washing. And I thought that was really, really bad. And I think when they do eventually go back to school, when they're queuing up to go in the dinner hall, I think hand washing or alcohol gels are going to be a big thing in schools, which I really want to see.
In terms of just normal cleaning then, let's start with the kitchen. Something I read today that I actually hadn't thought about, if I'm honest, is about drying surfaces as well. So are you quite keen on, you know, washing down and then drying? What's your process?
So I've always implemented a two-step cleaning process. So this is what they'd perhaps use in kitchens for restaurants and stuff. It's being extra thorough. So it's a matter of when you're washing your kitchen surfaces, for example, spray like an antibacterial cleaning product. So you can use a diluted washing up liquid for that, or a multi-purpose cleaner from the shop. Spray the product and let it sit for a few minutes. Don't spray and wipe instantly, because it's not going to work. Let it sit, spray all your surfaces, maybe go and clean the front of the fridge, come back, and then wipe dry, and then disinfect. So then use a diluted disinfectant and repeat that same process. So with the first process, you're sort of lifting the grease and the dirt from cooking and general wear and tear. The disinfectant or a diluted bleach is what's going to actually kill the germs. So you've lifted that first surface. So the second layer underneath there is what you really want to get to. So then obviously wipe dry with a clean microfiber cloth. And I always say try and use microfiber, because again, microfiber will help lift anything that's on your surface. Don't use a kitchen towel. Try and stick to a cloth that's going to lift with the fibres. And then you're obviously going to have quite a big bundle of cloths by the end of the week, aren't you? And you can cut up old towels and stuff and do this. You don't need to keep buying expensive cloths and stuff. You know, if you've got an old towel in the cupboard, cut it up. But what I always say with your cloths is have a bucket somewhere in the house, maybe under the sink, in the garage if that's the only place to store it, or in your utility area. Fill it with boiled water and disinfectant. And every time you've used a cloth, just pop it into the bucket, and then when you feel like you've got enough for a load, wash them all together at about 60 degrees, and then just keep that sort of process going. But I think the two-step cleaning process at the moment is something we should really be focusing on, especially in high traffic areas. I mean, rooms like your lounge and stuff probably don't need that extra attention, but your kitchen, your bathroom, your TV remote controls, pay them a bit more attention. Your light switches, your toilet flush, anything where your hand is constantly touching it, especially like your kids' tablets and your kids' phones. These are the things that need extra attention at the moment and need more than just a wipe.
What about those antibacterial wipes? Would you ever just use those?
You can use those. By all means, you know, that they are great. My concern with those is the impact they have on our environment. And if all of a sudden we've got cupboards full of those, I mean, to be honest, I caught my daughter earlier cleaning her makeup with a packet of wipes, and she had this huge pile. I was like, Olivia, those are just for emergencies. You know, we have them in, you know, I take them out in my handbag. But I think use cloths, cut up towels, cut up old T-shirts where you can, and use those rather than adapt into sort of wipes. But if that's what you prefer, I always say with cleaning, it's all about personal choice. Do what works for you.
And are you being particularly careful? This is one thing I am thinking about. So when I come in, I'm kind of being very careful about every handle I've touched as well. So even, you know, even the door handles and then the kitchen handles as well.
Yeah, handles are like one of our germ hotspots. So yeah, definitely clean those. And what I find is if you spray product directly to your cloth and then wipe the handle, that's better for it, because sometimes you can spray all this product around your handle and then you'll start damaging your door. You know, you get like, if you've got white gloss doors, for example, you're going to get a yellowing around them, and then that's another problem. So always try and spray product to cloth to door handle, and just whiz round and do those. And again, it's something that's simple that the kids can help you with. There's loads of products on the market that you can use. If you can't get hold of product because your supermarkets are running low, a white wine vinegar is a really good sort of antibacterial product that you can use, and that will help sort of fight bacteria and viruses as well. So there are other things in your cupboards you might not think, they will actually help you.
And you just pop that in some water or something, do you?
You can use it neat if you want to, or you can dilute it. Obviously, vinegar leaves a nasty smell, so that puts a lot of people off, but it disperses very, very quickly. About half an hour and the smell should start disappearing. So don't panic too much, but that is, you know, that's the last resort. If you've run out of product, you know, you don't want to go out because you're in that vulnerable category, or you just generally don't want to go out, just check your cupboards. You might have a few things in there. Neat vodka as well. If you've got an old bottle of vodka lying around, neat. You know, years ago they used alcohol, didn't they, in Victorian times for sort of operations and stuff. It's a sterilizer, so use it.
What about light switches? Because I'm always a bit worried about, you know, putting a lot of moisture on them, and also plug sockets as well. What would you recommend on those?
Same as the door handles. Again, always apply product to cloth. Don't start spraying directly into the sockets where your plug goes, because that's obviously going to be dangerous. And just make a point of wiping them down. Things like your kettle. How many times do you go and make a tea or a coffee a day and your hand has touched that handle? How often do you think about cleaning your kettle handle? No, I mean, even me, being a clean freak, probably cleans the kettle once a week. But now it's like, oh, you've had a cup of tea, quick, let's wipe it. And it's even like the cord your kettle's attached to. I'm now going all crazy with the cords as well. But I think we've all gone, everybody is suddenly enjoying cleaning a little bit more. Number one, it's passing the time if you're at home and you've got nothing to do. And I think it is just that, yes, I've cleaned, I've got satisfaction in my head that I'm safer in my own home now. And I think that's the reassurance we want to give people, safety in their own home.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like a bit of a safe haven, doesn't it? Because, you know, if there's nobody coming in my home except myself and my partner and my dog, you know, no delivery people, anything like that. So, talking about deliveries, what are you doing with that? So post when it comes through the door, what are you doing?
So what I'm tending to do is if it comes in the letterbox, it falls directly onto the mat. So I'm not grabbing it. You know, usually you grab it straight away. Well, what's come? Now it's like I'm leaving it to sit there. And to be honest, I'm spraying it with a bit of Dettol. Packaging that's been left outside, which I think is a great move that all the drivers have made. They're leaving the box outside. And I think they're taking a photo. So I'm now leaving that box outside for a few hours. You know, I'd rather just let it sit there, kill off any germs with the fresh air before it comes in, again, spray. But again, I think get rid of the outer packaging quite quickly once you've done this. The inside's going to be fine. A lady messaged me earlier. She bought quite a lot of clothes off the internet and she was worried. She said, do I have to wash the clothes straight away? And I said, look, don't panic so much. They're inside probably a second layer of packaging that's not been touched by human hands probably for at least a week. Yeah. So don't start going all OTT and thinking you've got to wash everything that comes in. You know, it's the outer packaging that's your concern, not the inside packaging.
And I guess once you've opened the package, make sure you're washing your hands and doing all that.
Yeah, definitely. And I also think be mindful of our post people and our delivery drivers. Keep your letterbox sort of, wipe it over once a day if you can, and your doorbell, because those are the people that have got to touch it. You know, so think of them as well. They've got to press the button and think of their safety. Yeah, definitely.
I get a newspaper delivered, and one thing I'm doing, I do leave it for a couple of hours and then I give it a spray before. Yeah. And I mean, it's not that great to read, but give it a spray and then kind of leave it. But
that's giving you confidence that you know you've done something that you feel's right for you and your family. And I think that's what it's about. It's about the confidence you're giving yourself. So I think everyone should just do what they feel comfortable doing. If they want to hang their newspaper on the line, go for it. Do you know what I mean? Page by page.
Your neighbours can read it then as well.
Yeah. Something to do.
What about clothes and sheets? things like that. Are you washing more often and higher temperature?
Not me really, if I'm completely honest. But I think if you were a key worker and you've been out, especially if you're an NHS staff member, I'd be washing my bedding a lot more often. I think that's definitely the good course, especially like ladies with hair and stuff, uniforms. You know, my dad's class as a key worker. He's still out there. He set up a hand washing station in the back of his van, you know, and washing his uniform. My mum's actually making him take his clothes off in the garden before he comes in. But
what does he do?
I mean, he's a gas service engineer, so
right.
There are still people out there that are having problems with their heating or their hot water. He's been trying not to work, but if he gets a call and it's an elderly lady, he doesn't want to let that person down. But yeah, so I think if you've got a uniform, get it washed. You know.
So your mum's making him strip naked in the garden.
Well, the pants, I think. She'll be mortified. But I sort of think, I know it's funny, but I think it's also quite a sensible measure. You know, if I've been on the tube in London, as soon as I get in, I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get changed, because I can just smell the tube on me. I'm terrible. So it's that same sort of concept, isn't it?
It's so difficult, isn't it? Because you want to keep as clean as possible, but you also need that kind of element of normality to, you know, to keep going, to make us happy and to not worry about it all the time. Yeah,
I think normality is quite important. And I think, you know, having daytime telly on helps, because they're still doing normal things. They're baking cakes and stuff. On my Instagram, I'm sort of trying to be as happy as I can be and motivating people. And I think people want to see that. They don't want to see constant doom and gloom, or all she's doing is scrubbing her toilet or scrubbing this. Because they want to see us like doing normal family activities. They want to see you doing your daily exercise. Because I think if some people, like this morning, to be honest, I was a bit low and I didn't want to go out for my daily walk, but I went and I come back feeling better. And I think if you show people that you're going out for your daily walk that are feeling a little bit low, they're going to get up off the sofa. They're going to appreciate the fact that we're lucky that we can still go out. Some countries can't have that daily walk. And I feel we should be making the most of our walks and then just coming in, steaming our trainers and having a good old session in the utility room. But whatever we need to do.
Is this kind of a nice time for you? Because I guess a lot of people are looking to you at the moment. You know, you've got an awful lot of followers on Instagram. They're looking to you for advice. Is that a nice thing, or are you feeling the pressure a bit?
No, it's actually a really, really nice thing. I mean, as I'm not medically trained, as you know, I'm not sort of mental health trained or anything, but I think just being happy and being quite inspiring and positive is enough for a lot of people.
Just finally then, what would be your key bits of advice for people?
Yeah, come in, clean everything. Don't forget your handbag. If you've been and you've used your purse, don't forget your purse, even your cash card if you've used that. Mobile phone, I think, is one of the most important things. You know, you can use rubbing alcohol on your mobile phone screen. That was released by Apple a few weeks ago. Pay attention, take the cover off and soak it. And I think washing your hands instantly. I mean, as I come in my back door, I've got big pump hand sanitizer. And then so you use that first, and then you come round to the sink because the sink isn't quite at the back door. So it's having a process and just making sure everybody follows it. And I think because we're not going out much, don't switch and have like 10 pairs of shoes in your entrance because you're not wearing 10 pairs of shoes, because we're not going anywhere glamorous at the moment, are we? Have a pair of practical like trainers or shoes that you stick to through this period, and just stick to the one pair. You know, don't travel it up to your wardrobes if you've got numerous pairs of shoes. The same with your coats. It's not a fashion parade at the moment. As much as we'd love it to be, it's not. I think it's just being sensible. It's going back to basics. And it's that sort of thing. But I think hand washing, definitely. I mean, I've never washed my hands so much, and I wash them a lot.
When we're not in lockdown and you go and visit other people's houses, do they become nervous wrecks when you're coming around because they haven't cleaned anything?
They do. They're like, oh my God, she's coming. But you know what? I'm very, I've got these ways, but I'm also very normal, and I have a laugh and a joke with it. Like, I'll go around with friends, I'll take my own wine glass, and it's a joke, really. I would drink out of theirs. But we just make fun of it, and I think that's the best way, just to laugh at it, really. Yeah. But, you know, I like going out and seeing people. I'm missing seeing people. Yeah. But we all are, aren't we? It's tedious.
Yeah, at least we've got the internet, eh?
I know.
Oh, Lynsey, it's been great speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.